الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى كما ورد في سورة لقمان: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ قال لقمان لابنه وهو يعظه يا بني لا تشرك بالله إن الشرك لظلم عظيم. وقال تبارك وتعالى كما ورد في سورة النساء: إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك لمن يشاء ومن يشرك بالله فقد افترى إثما عظيما. وقال جل وعلا كما ورد في نفس السورة: إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك لمن يشاء ومن يشرك بالله فقد ضل ضلالا بعيدا. وقال عز وجل كما ورد في سورة الحج: وإذ بوأنا لإبراهيم مكان البيت ألا تشرك بي شيئا إلى قوله تعالى: ومن يشرك بالله فكأنما خر من السماء فتخطفه الطير أو تهوي به الريح في مكان سحيق. وقال جل وعلا كما ورد في سورة الزمر: ولقد أوحي إليك وإلى الذين من قبلك لئن أشركت ليحبطن عملك ولتكونن من الخاسرين. صدق الله العظيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as I told you after the last session regarding our discussion about Iman, that some of the points connected with the last topic, that is how to get real Iman and where can we get it from. But now I want to proceed straight off with the next subject, and that is what is shirk. That is, what is meant by associating someone or something with Allah, or ascribing any partner to Allah, or making or accepting anyone or anything equal to Allah, whether in his person or in his attributes or his position or his status or his authority or his rights. This is actually, in brief, the definition of shirk. So what does it mean? And what are the ramifications, of this shirk? What are the branches? What are the different forms? But before I proceed to that, let me first of all translate and briefly explain the ayat which I have recited in the beginning. First of all, it was ayah number 13 of Surah Luqman. This says, وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ. And remember the time when Luqman said to his son, and he was admonishing him or exhorting him or advising him: Ya bunayya, O my son, la tushrik billah. Don't associate anyone with Allah. Don't ascribe any partners unto Allah. Don't make anything or anyone equal to Allah. Inna shirka la zulmun azim. Verily, this shirk is the most tremendous and awesome and greatest sin or iniquity or injustice. This is the biggest wrong that can be done. So what is shirk? The tremendous and awesome and biggest injustice and wrong, according to this ayah of the Quran. Then I recited two ayat from Surah An-Nisa, ayah number 48 and ayah number 116. And the major portion of both the ayat is the same. Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bih wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha wa man yushrik billahi faqad iftara isman azima. And in the second ayah, wa man yushrik billahi faqad dhalla dhalalan ba'ida. But the first part is the same, and that is the most important. Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bih. Allah will never forgive that shirk may be made with him, be done with him, committed with him. Anything or anybody may be made equal to him, or he be treated as equal, as partner with someone. This is the greatest sin, unpardonable. Short of that, any sin Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may forgive to whom He may like. Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bih wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. And now the ayah 48 ends, wa man yushrik billah, whosoever commits shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, faqad iftara isman azima. So he had committed the biggest sin. And ayah number 116 ends, وَمَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا. Whosoever commits shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he has gone astray, very far off from the right path. Now let us come to the ayat of Surah Al-Hajj. Here the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is being mentioned. وَإِذْ بَوَّأْنَا لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ مَكَانَ الْبَيْتِ. And when we told Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam that this is the place where you should build the house for me, Allah tushrik bi shay'a. The first commandment given to him was, never associate anybody, anything with me. Never commit any form of shirk with me. And after some ayat, we find the words, وَمَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَكَأَنَّمَا خَرَّ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَتَخْطَفُهُ الطَّيْرُ أَوْ تَهْوِي بِهِ الرِّيحُ فِي مَكَانٍ سَحِيقٍ. Whosoever commits shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is as if he has fallen from the heaven and now he is at the mercy of the birds of prey. They might tear him off, or the wind, it might take him to any ditch in which he falls and is torn into pieces. This is the simile used here to what end this shirk can lead a man, a woman, a human being. And let me mention here also, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he has three places among the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which are very peculiar to him. Ittakhadallahu Ibrahim Khalila. Allah adopted him as his friend, Khalil. Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. I am going to make you imam for the whole of humanity. He is Abul Anbiya. How many prophets and messengers of Allah? They were from his progeny. Either the line which started from Hazrat Ishaq alayhi salatu wasalam and Hazrat Yaqub, and so many prophets of the line of Bani Israel, they are all sons of Ibrahim. And the last of all, who was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, son of Ibrahim again. The second line, which was there from Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. But the greatest certificate that is given to Ibrahim in the Quran, the greatest testimonial which is given to him in Quran 6 times is وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. He was not from among the mushriks. So it is the biggest testimonial that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to a person, to a man, to a human being. Now let me come to the last ayah, and that is from the last section of Surah Zumar. وَلَقَدْ وُحِيَ إِلَيْكَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing here Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam personally. O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it has been revealed to you before وَالَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكَ, and it was revealed to all the prophets who came before you, لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ, even if you commit shirk, لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ, all of your deeds that you have earned up till now will go in vain, will go away, vanish, will be multiplied by zero. لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ, even you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if you commit shirk, all of your deeds will go in vain, will be reduced to a zero. وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ, and you will also become one of those who are in loss. So this is, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the big crime, the unpardonable sin. This is shirk. Now let me explain it in another form. We have seen our deen is Deenut Tawheed. Islam is Deenut Tawheed. If you want to express Islam in one word, what is it? It is Deenut Tawheed. And I told you, the basic Iman, or you may say comprehensive Iman, is Iman Billah or Tawheed. In Iman Mujmal, only Iman Billah is mentioned. Amantu billahi amantu billahi kama huwa bi asma'ihi wa sifatihi wa qabiltu jami' ahkamihi iqrarun bil lisani wa tasdiqun bil qalb. Now shirk is the opposite of Tawheed. There is a saying, a proverb in Arabic, Toraful ashya'u bi azdadiha. Things can be more understood in the context of the antonyms, the opposites. You can appreciate what is day if you have seen night. If you have never seen night, you can't understand what you mean by day. By contrast, simultaneous contrast makes things clear. Toraful ashya'u bi azdadiha. So if you want to understand what is Tawheed, you must understand what is Shirk. And if you want to understand what is Shirk, you must understand what is Tawheed. So they are actually antonyms to each other. And let me make a statement. Although it might appear to be in the very beginning very categorical, but I'll prove that this is correct. The statement is, all good, whether it concerns thought or deed, any good, whether in action, in deed, or in thought, is a corollary of Tawheed. Every evil, whether in action, deed, or of thought, or of aqidah, it is necessarily a corollary of shirk. That is my categorical statement. Just like a tree has a root, then a trunk, then branches and leaves. Every leaf of the tree is connected with the root. So actually the root of deen is Tawheed. So whatever is there in this tree, the trunk, the branches, the leaves, the fruit, the flowers, they are all actually connected with this root. And the opposite is also correct. All evil, whether in thought or in action, in deed, actually they are the branches, they are the corollaries of shirk. Now, the forms of shirk, the branches of shirk, the shades of shirk are very numerous, so many. And it becomes very difficult at times to recognize the shirk. It takes different garbs, different dresses, different forms. And that is why, let me quote a couplet from Allama Iqbal here. Barahimi nazar paida magar mushkil se hoti hai. To recognize shirk. And here Allama Iqbal says, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, he had that understanding, that capacity of recognizing shirk wherever it was, in whichever form it was. बराहीमी नजर पैदा मगर मुश्किल से होती है, हाविस छुप छुप के सीनों में बना लेती है तस्वीरें. You have idols within your heart. You are not worshipping the idols, the asnam. Before you, there is nothing. But you have the idols in your heart, in your chest. And this will inshallah become absolutely clear today. So there is a need that we should have the capability and the capacity and the ability to recognize and understand all forms of shirk, and recognize shirk in whatever garb and cover it appears. There is a Persian couplet, Bahar range ke khahi jama mi posh manandaze qadat ra mi shanasam. You may take on any dress of any color, but I will recognize you from your, what should be the stature. I will recognize you. So actually we should have the capability and ability to recognize shirk, whichever form it might take. It keeps on changing colors. It keeps on taking different forms from time to time. Maybe you understand the shirk of 1,000 years before, but you cannot understand the shirk of today. This disease has appeared in another form, in absolutely new garb today. So you have to acquire the ability to recognize shirk in whatever garb, in whatever form, in whatever color it appears. Now to understand different types of shirk, let us see how we can divide different kinds of shirk, different categories of shirk. So the ulama, mostly they divide shirk as a shirk fil aqidah and a shirk fil amal. Fil aqidah, you are professing and you yourself say that you believe in something which is shirk. Someone says, well, Jesus is Son of God, and he is professing it. He is saying it himself. So he is committing shirk. It is fil aqidah. But there might be a shirk which is only in action. If you analyze the deed and action and the behavior of a person, you find there is shirk in it. Maybe that person who is committing that action or deed, he himself doesn't know that I am committing shirk. It's a shirk fil amal. You have to analyze what are the motives, what's the thought behind this deed or action. So there can be shirk fil amal and there can be shirk fil aqidah. Then another classification is, there is apparent and evident shirk, absolutely apparent and evident. This we call ash-shirkul jali, clear, absolutely apparent, absolutely evident. Then there is hidden shirk, implied shirk, and imperceptible shirk. This is ash-shirkul khafi. For example, I will give the details later on, but let me quote here a hadith. Man salla yurai faqad ashraka, wa man sama yurai faqad ashraka, wa man tasaddaqa yurai faqad ashraka. Whosoever is praying but he wants to show off to the others that he is a very muttaqi person, a very pious person, he has already committed shirk. He is praying. Whosoever keeps Psalm, he is fasting, but he wants to show to the people that he is a very pious person. He keeps 3 fasts every month. If he wants that exhibition, faqad ashraka, he has committed shirk. Even to the extent that if you are praying and when you are going in prostration, usually your sajda, one prostration, for example, if it comprises 5 seconds, 10 seconds, but when you feel that someone is looking at you, now you increase the duration of your sajda. Now you are there for 10 seconds. You have committed shirk. you are doing this prostration partly for Allah. The original 5 seconds were for Allah, and the additional 5 seconds are for the person to whom you are showing. So actually, for this sajda, there are 2 masjood. You have committed sin, you have committed shirk. So shirk, al-shirkul jali, al-shirkul khafi, the hidden shirk, imperceptible shirk, and the shirk which is evident, absolutely apparent and clear. But as far as I think, for a better understanding of all the shades of shirk and kinds of shirk, the better classification would be, there are 3 types of shirk. We shall discuss according to this classification. The shirk fi zat, associating someone in the person of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Personal association, in his own person, in his zat, making someone equal to him as a person. This is the biggest shirk, the ugliest shirk, the most naked shirk. Then number 2, shirk fi sifat, ascribing the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to someone else, in quality or quantity. The attributes which are exclusive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you are ascribing that attribute to someone else or something else. Or if the attribute is common between Allah and the creations, the creatures, but when you use that adjective or attribute for Allah, it means something else. And when you are using the same word for men or other creatures, it means something else. If you confuse, if you make both things equal, this is a shirk fi sifat, making shirk in the attributes of Allah. Then lastly, there is the shirk to associate someone in the status of Allah, in the authority of Allah, in the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in his position, to make somebody equal to him in rights, in authority. That is shirk fil huquq, the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which are exclusive to him. And you have made someone partner unto him in those rights, in any one of those rights. It becomes shirk. So a shirk fi zat, associating someone in the person of Allah. Shirk fi sifat, ascribing the attributes of Allah to someone else or to something else, whether quantitatively or qualitatively. And the third, ash-shirk fil huquq, making partner of Allah in his authority, in his rights. Now, with these preliminary points, let us now come to the first, and that is ash-shirk fi zat. As I said, this is the most heinous, most naked, ugliest shirk. And that is why we find in the Quran the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ghadab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appears in the most severe form regarding this shirk fi zat. Because if you make someone partner to Allah in his person, he becomes absolutely equal. Now, what are the 2 forms which this shirk fi zat has taken throughout history? There are 2 forms. One, and the more ugly, and the more naked, and the more heinous form of this shirk fi zat is the irony of fate, that it appeared in the ummahs of the prophets and messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People who believed in the prophets, people to whom messengers of Allah came, who claim that we believe in these prophets and messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who should have been absolutely free from shirk. It's the irony of fate that the most heinous form of shirk was committed by them. What is that? To say Allah has adopted a son. There has been any son to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or daughter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A son or a daughter of anybody, any person, is absolutely equal to him. The progeny of a horse is a horse. The progeny of man is a man. It becomes absolutely equal. It is kufr, absolutely equal. The status is the same. This is the worst form of shirk. And you know, I need not tell you, you know, the worst form appeared in whom? People who claim that they believe in Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. And they believe Jesus is the Son of Allah, Son of God. And in the same way, although not as a whole, but at certain time and certain sects of the Jews also believed Hazrat Uzair alayhi salatu wassalam to be Son of Allah. قالت اليهود عزير ابن الله وقالت النصارى المسيح ابن الله. And thirdly, the pagan Arabs, especially the Quraysh of Makkah, they claimed they were the progeny of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. And they were the progeny of Ismail alayhi salatu wassalam. And they claimed that they were following Ibrahim. But they had the aqidah, the false aqidah, that angels are daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why all the idols of the Arabs, they are feminine. They were goddesses. Uzza, Lat, Manat, these are all feminine names. They said they are daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I have given you 3 examples. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, people who believed in him claimed to be following Ibrahim, and they committed this heinous, this ugliest crime, that they said that the angels, the malaika, they are the daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the Jews who claimed that they are Unitarians, they are the Muwahhideen. But among them also there were people who said that Uzair ibn Allah, Hazrat Uzair alayhi salatu wasalam, is Son of Allah. But the most ugliest form, it appeared in the Christians. This became an integral part of their dogma. Jesus Christ is Son of God. This is the essential part, the very basis of their dogma. That is why I can't give you many examples, because I know the time is very much limited. I have in Urdu 6 tapes on this subject of 1 hour each. But today I have to finish the whole subject in 2 hours. So I have to be very brief. But those of you who know Urdu, can understand Urdu, they can get those 6 tapes so that they can find more details. Here I can only give you an overview, a brief account. You can put in more details yourself, inshallah. Let me quote here 4 verses, 4 ayat from the last portion, last section of Surah Maryam. And you just appreciate, try to understand the wrath of Allah, the ghadab of Allah, the anger of Allah, which appears in the Quran regarding this form of shirk. وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا. And they say that Rahman has adopted a son. لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا. You have brought and you have concocted a very absurd idea, a very ugly idea. تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ وَتَنْشَقُّ الْأَرْضُ وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ هَدًّا أَنْ دَعَوْا لِلرَّحْمَنِ وَلَدًا. This is such a big crime in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is such a big insult to the person of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the skies and heavens, they split and crack, and the earth also splits on it, and the mountains may fall and crumble down. Anda'u lirrahmani walada, that these people are calling that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has some son or daughter. Walad goes both ways. So, وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لِلرَّحْمَنِ أَنْ يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدًا. It doesn't behove Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he should have any son or daughter. Why? Please understand this point. Only those things or beings need daughters or sons who know they are going to die. We shall die. We want that we shall not remain, but our name should continue. And our name will continue through our sons. Because actually it's a continuation of the personality. It's a continuation of my own personality. My sons, then sons of my sons. It's actually a continuation of my own self. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to die. There's not going to be any end for him. He doesn't need any son or daughter. وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لِلرَّحْمَنِ أَنْ يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدًا. And above all these things. That is why it is an insult to him. And then, as I told you, son is just equal to the father. He is the same as father. Son of a donkey is a donkey. Son of a horse is a horse. Son of a man is a man. So this is the biggest form of making anybody equal to the person to whom you are saying that he is the son of him. So this is the worst form of shirk. And what's the position of Surah Al-Ikhlas in the Quran? Rub'ul Quran, Sulusul Quran. The Prophet said it's equal to 1/3 of Quran. Why? Because the most comprehensive surah repudiating this sort of shirk. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid walam yulad, walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Because the son is kufr. Let me make it more simple. Son of a Sayyid is a Sayyid. Son of a Mughal is a Mughal. Son of a Rajput is a Rajput. So that way you make him absolutely equal. This is what we call kufr. وَلَمْ يَكُلْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. There is no kufr for him. There is nobody equal to him. He begot not, nor he was begotten. He didn't have any parents, nor he had any children, or sons or daughters or any progeny. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And there is the last ayah of Surah Bani Israel. It's as comprehensive as the Surah Al-Ikhlas. قُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي لَمْ يَتَّخِذْ وَلَدًا وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ شَرِيكٌ فِي الْمُلْكِ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ وَلِيٌّ مِّنَ الظُّلْمِ وَكَبِّرْهُ تَكْبِيرًا. In one ayah, 5 types of shirk have been denied and repudiated. But in the very beginning is lam yattakhiz walad. He didn't take anybody as his son or daughter. So this is actually the form of shirk which is the most naked, most heinous and the ugliest shirk according to the Quran. And I told you this is the irony of fate, that those people who believe in revealed religions, who believed in revealed books, they have committed this crime, this type of shirk. Now the other form of the shirk fi zat, it appeared in those religions which have a philosophical beginning. Those who have studied the subject of comparative religion, they know there are 2 types of religion: revealed religions and philosophical religions. Because I told you in the early discussion on Iman that actually the problems and questions in philosophy and in Iman, they are common. The metaphysical questions: what is this universe? Where from has it come? Is it forever? Was it there forever? Always present? Who are we? What is evil? What is good? What's knowledge? What are the sources of knowledge? What's our life? What is the psychology of man? So all these questions, they are basically common to religion and philosophy. And I told you that the answers to these questions were given through 2 sources: philosophers, sages, thinkers. They thought about these questions. Maybe Socrates, maybe Confucius, maybe Mahavir, maybe Shankaracharya, maybe Ramanuja. All these people, they were philosophers. Plato. They have grappled with these questions, given answers to these questions, and we know them as philosophies. This is the philosophy of Socrates, this is the philosophy of Plato, this is idealism, this is realism, and so on. And the other source of the answers came from the prophets. And they claimed that they had a special source of knowledge which came to them. That is why they know these things through that source of knowledge. So the questions are common, but the mode of answering is different. So there have been religions in the world who are basically philosophical religions. Most of the Hindu religions, I am not saying religion. Hinduism is not a one religion. There are so many religions in Hinduism. Hinduism actually is a culture. In Hinduism you have shades of opinion who have, topmost tawheed. Then there are the worst mushrikeen. Then there are the atheists. Don't believe in any god whatsoever. And they are all Hindus. So actually, most of the religions of Chinese origin and Indian origin, they are actually philosophical. Now this shirk fi zat in the philosophical religion has taken 2 forms. Number 1, the pantheism. All this universe is itself God. I want to explain it today. Pantheism, this denotes everything. Pantheism. Everything is divine. Why? Because there was a question. If we believe in a creator, how did he create this world? One opinion was that just as a carpenter can make a table or a chair, but he needs wood first. The wood should be there. Out of the wood, he can make a table. So matter was also present, and God was also present. They are both Qadim. God created this world out of matter. So this is actually, you have to accept that two things are qadeem. They exist forever. But there were people who didn't accept this dualism. They wanted to be monotheists. Their logic, their intellect, they required some monotheism. But how to visualize? One of the explanation was that God himself took the form of this universe. The example is, when the ice melts, it becomes water. Now if you ask, where is the ice? It's nowhere. This water is ice. And if you boil this water, it becomes steam. Now if you want to know has that water gone? Well, the steam is water. This steam is ice. This steam is water. Because the ice took the form of water and the water took the form of steam. In the same way, they said, everything that exists is actually divine. The Creator has himself taken this form. So everything actually is part of Godhead. Nothing is outside it. This is pantheism. And this is the worst form of shirk. God himself has taken the form of this universe. But that was in search of unity. Give the devil his due. Their search was for something very good, but they were led astray. And please don't confuse it with wahdatul wujud. That's something else. Pantheism is hamagust. Pantheism is kufr. Shirk of the worst order. It is the shirk fizzat. Wahdatul wujud is something else. The unity of existence is something else. That I will inshallah explain when I talk about the shirk fi sifat. But now there is another form of shirk fi zat which appeared in these philosophical religions. And that is the principle of incarnation. God takes on the form of human beings. He manifests himself in the form of human beings. Krishna, he was incarnation, God incarnate. And according to some of the Christians, they also believe, Inna Allaha huwa al-Masih ibn Maryam. Inna Allaha huwa al-Masih ibn Maryam. Allah is Masih. Actually, Allah has taken the form. Allah has appeared as Masih. In Arabic we call it hulul. So actually, this is the principle of incarnation. God incarnate. God appearing in the form of human beings. This is another very bad, very naked, very ugly form of shirk fi zat. And this has appeared in some of the philosophical religions and also some of the revealed religions also. Not in the religions, the followers of some revealed religions. Though they claim to be following the revealed religions. They claim that Bible is revealed. And we know that Jesus, Hazrat Masih alayhi salatu wasalam, was a messenger of Allah. But people who claim that they are followers of Jesus, they believe him to be Son of God. And they also, some of them believe that he is himself God incarnated. So these are different forms of shirk fi zat. Now, let me make a point here, and that's very important. Alhamdulillah, summa alhamdulillah, summa alhamdulillah. Thank God, once, twice, thrice, that this ummah has been saved up till now from this form of shirk. Although in poetry you find such things. In the poetry praising the Prophet, which we call Naat, the poets have said such things. Let me quote here a couplet. वही जो मुस्तवी अर्श था खुदा होकर, उतर पड़ा वो मदीने में मुस्तफा होकर. What is it? The same person who was on the arsh, he was God when he was on arsh. वही जो मुस्तवी अर्श था, इन्नल्लाह इस्तवा अलल अर्श, वही जो मुस्तवी अर्श था खुदा होकर, उतर पड़ा वो मदीने में मुस्तफा होकर. He came down in Medina and he became Mustafa alayhi salatu wassalam. So what's the difference between incarnation and this chair, this couplet? But this is, the poet is saying it. Please let me mention here, such type of aqidah or views or dogmas don't occur anywhere in the acknowledged sects, any of the acknowledged sects of Islam, of Muslims, in their official form. Poetry is something else. وَالشُّعَرَاءُ يَتَّبِعُهُمُ الْغَاوُونَ أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّهُمْ فِي كُلِّ وَادٍ يَهِيمُونَ. So actually, these poets, they are a different category altogether. Don't go after them. But the official version of the aqaid, of the acknowledged sects of Islam, they are absolutely free from this form of shirk. And now to appreciate, how big the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on this ummah regarding this issue. Why it is? That should also be clear. This is the last ummah. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the last messenger of Allah. If such a wrong thing had creeped in the official aqaid of the Muslimin, who was to come there now to rectify these things? None. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and protected this deen, because this is the final deen. As the Prophet said, Ana akhirul muslimin wa antum akhirul umam. I am the last of the messengers and you are the last of the ummahs. You are the last ummah. So actually, الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى كما ورد في سورة البقرة: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. وقال تبارك وتعالى كما ورد في آخر سورة الكهف: قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. صدق الله العظيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم ربنا ألهمنا رشدنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. آمين يا رب العالمين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the last session, you must be remembering, we completed not only our preliminary discussion about the importance of shirk in Islam, how big an insult it is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how heinous a crime it is, but also we discussed the worst form of shirk, the most naked form of shirk, the ugliest form of shirk, that is shirk fi zaat, associating someone or something to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in person, personally. Now we proceed to the second kind of shirk, and that is shirk fi sifat, assigning the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to anything or anybody, anyone, either quantitatively or qualitatively. Now this question and this issue is quite tricky. It's quite difficult also. And if someone is not cautious enough, maybe he falls in the trap. Why? Because due to the limitation of our vocabulary, we use the same words when we talk about attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the same words are used as adjectives for creatures, for human beings, for example. Ilm, Allah is alim, a man is also alim. He may be allama. You know this word? Allama. The same word. Allah is allamul ghuyub. And we use the same word, allama, for a human being. We are also living creatures. Allah is the living, al-hayyul qayyum. Life is common between us and Allah. We also see, Allah also sees. We also hear, Allah is also Sami'. So the words are common. All the words we use as attributes or adjectives for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well as for the creatures, for the created as well as the creator. The words are the same. We are also mawjood and he is mawjood. We exist and he exists. He is Qadir, and we also have some Qudrat, some power, some authority. So all these words are common. But, mind you, when we use these words as attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they mean something else, absolutely different meaning they have. And when we use these words for human beings, for example, or for the malaika, or for the jinnat, or for any other creature, the meanings are absolutely different. Words are the same. Connotations are widely apart. There is a world of difference between the two. Now please note what are the differences. 3. Just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was forever and will remain forever, He is Qadeem and Baqi. All the creation, all the creatures, they were not before they were created. They have a beginning in time. They are hadis and they are fani. Just as this difference between Allah, the creator, and whole of this universe, the created. This is the basic difference. In the same way, all the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala existed ever, forever. They were with Him always. And they are to remain with Him always. No beginning, no end of His attributes. While the attributes, while sifat for us, they are hadis, they are fani. Allah doesn't owe His existence to anybody else. He exists on His own. In the same way, all His attributes are His own, not given to Him by anybody else. While we owe our existence to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the same way, all the sifat of all the creatures are given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are not their own. We call it in Arabic Zati and Ata'i. Whatsoever we have has been given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, it is His own, not given to Him by anybody else. In the same way, the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His being, is absolute, infinite. No limits, no boundaries, no bounds whatsoever. And so are His attributes. His attributes are absolute, infinite, have no limits. We don't have in our language any word to express it, except He knows everything. He owns everything. He can do everything. He is omnipotent. He is omniscient. He is omnipresent. These are the only expressions that we have. But technically we shall say, just like His own being, the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His being is infinite, absolute. His attributes are also infinite and absolute, boundless, limitless. While our attributes, the same words used for any creation, any creature, just as their existence is limited, it is finite, their attributes are also finite and limited. These are the 3 main differences. Words are common, but the same word when used for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has these 3 concepts attached to it. And that very word when used for anybody else, maybe a jinn, maybe a malak, the angel, human being, even prophets, even awliya Allah, even Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, all the attributes which they have, they are limited, given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not their own. They are hadith, not qadim. So these are the three main differences which we must keep in mind, and if we are not cautious, we may confuse the two. Now let me give you an example. We call it in Urdu Qudrat, in Arabic Qudrah. The authority, the power, He is all powerful. We also have some authority. We have also some powers. But if you compare the authority and power of Allah to the power and authority that we have, there can be no ratio between the finite and the infinite. Compared to Allah, we have no power at all. And these are the words in the prayer of istikhara. Many of you might be remembering, because the Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba say that he taught us this prayer of istikhara just as he taught us the ayat of Quran. And in that we have فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرُ وَلَا أَقْدِرُ. You have the authority, you have the power. I don't have any authority, any power. Although we have some, limited, given by Him to us. But if you compare the authority that I have, you have, the power that you have and I have, if you compare them to the authority and power of Allah, it is zero. In the same way, ilm, knowledge. هو بكل شيء عليم. هو على كل شيء قدير. He is all powerful. He is omnipotent. وهو بكل شيء عليم. He knows everything. We also know something. But compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our knowledge is nil, limited. And only as much He gave to us. I just recited, the famous ayah. It is called Ayatul Kursi. And the Prophet ﷺ has been reported to have said that this ayah is the Sayyidatu Ayatul Quran. It's the, what should be the translation of Sayyidah? The chief ayah of the Quran, the biggest. And this actually deals with the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu la ilaha illahu al-hayyul qayyum. He is the living. Now life, hayat, it is another attribute. We are also living. But our life, we call it in Urdu hayat-e-musta'ar. It's borrowed. He gave us. लाई हयात आए, कज़ा ले चली चले, अपनी खुशी से आए ना अपनी खुशी चले. This is our life. He can take it any time, any moment. He can take it back. And then our life needs food, needs rest, needs sleep. But what is the life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Hayyul Qayyum, La ta'khuzuhu sinatun wala nawm. His life is not overpowered by sleepiness. Don't confuse your life with His life. Don't guess His life upon your own life. Hell of difference between the life of the living beings we have here and the life of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But haya, the word is common. So these are the three examples. And we have in the same dua istikhara, the prayer of istikhara, فَإِنَّكَ تَعْلَمُ وَلَا أَعْلَمُ. Oh Allah, you know, and I don't know. The ayah, it is from Surah Al-Baqarah. Asa an takrahu shay'an wa huwa khairul lakum. Wa asa an tuhibbu shay'an wa huwa sharrul lakum. Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun. Maybe you dislike something. It's unpleasant to you. But it is good for you. You don't know it. On the contrary, maybe you love something, you like something. While it is harmful for you, it's not good for you. Sharrul lakum. It's bad for you, it's injurious for you, it's harmful for you. Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun. Allah knows and you don't know. There's another very beautiful ayah in Surah Bani Israel. وَيَدْعُ الْإِنسَانُ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاهُ بِالْخَيْرِ. It so often happens, and you call it so often happens, that a man is praying for something good according to his own thinking, while that thing is not good for him. So he is praying for something bad for him. وَيَدْعُ الْإِنسَانُ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاهُ بِالْخَيْرِ. According to his own idea, he is praying for something which is good for him, while actually it is not good for him, it is bad for him. So just imagine, he is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant for him something which is bad for him. So this is the condition of our knowledge. So that is actually the differentiation, this distinction must always be kept in mind. This solves many problems. One of the very big controversies among our religious people, sects, is whether Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had any knowledge of ghaib or not. It's a very controversial discussion. When I went and approached some of those, who are very well known as Ahlul Bid'ah, and who believe that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had the knowledge of ghaib, the unseen, I asked them directly the question, what's your position actually? Let me know. He said, we admit that the knowledge of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was limited. It was given to him, it was not his own. It was hadith, not qadim. I said, then I don't have any difference with you if you accept these three things. It's not for us to decide whether Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew something or not. We don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a lot of knowledge which we don't know. And the prophethood essentially is based on some knowledge of the ghaib. The Jannah, the paradise is ghaib for us. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was shown that Jannah on the night of Isra, didn't he? Jahannam is ghaib for us, but it was shown to him. Even in this world, once he was praying for rain, what happened? He stepped forward involuntarily, and then he just moved back. The Sahaba asked after the prayer was over, what was this? Is it an integral part of the prayer? We should do it like that? No. When I was praying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought Jannah before me, and involuntarily my hand that went forward to get some fruit of the Jannah for you. And then the fire of hell was brought before me, and due to the heat I had to turn back, move back. So this happened in this world. But to speak of Mi'raj, the ascension. So here, the Malaika, they are ghaib for us. But he saw Jibreel, didn't he? وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ بِالْأُفُقِ الْمُبِينِ وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى عِنْدَ سِدْرَةِ الْمُنْتَهَى. But not all ghaib, limited ghaib. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to give him, he gave him. A prophet is a prophet because some of the knowledge of the ghaib is given to him. Otherwise he is only a human being like me and you. So actually there is nothing very difficult in this question. But the ghaib that was given to him was limited. Ya'lamu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. It's only Allah who knows everything of the heavens and the earth. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. All the creatures, whether they are angels, whether they are prophets, whether they are messengers of Allah, whether they are awliya Allah, or whosoever he is, they cannot have any knowledge except that which is given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is Tawheed. So people have made it a very big issue, a very controversial issue. It stands solved, just dissolved, just disappears, no issue at all. And now let me come to the most important topic. I want to say something about Wahdatul Wujud. What is actually Wahdatul Wujud? Most of the Sufia of Islam who believe in Wahdatul Wujud, what's their position actually? I said in my discussion about the Shirk fi Zat, their pantheism is kufr, is shirk of the highest order. Wahdatul Wujud is something else. What is that? The position of these Sufia, these mystics and philosophers of Islam, is that compared to the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this universe doesn't exist. It's imaginary. It's not real. Just as compared to the Qudrah of Allah, power and authority of Allah, our power and authority is nil, zero. فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرُ وَلَا أَقْدِرُ. Compared to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our knowledge is zero. وَتَعْلَمُ وَلَا عَلَمُ. In the same way, the existence, real existence, belongs to Him and Him alone. This is what the Muslim philosophers call wajibul wujud. His wujud is wajib, necessary being. While all the other who appear to exist actually are non-existent. There's a very beautiful couplet in Arabic. كُلُّ مَا فِي الْكَوْنِ وَهْمٌ أَوْ خِيَالٌ أَوْ عُقُوسٌ فِي الْمَرَايَا أَوْ ظِلَالٌ. These are all shadows, transient shadows which we are seeing. We are seeing, but they really don't exist. Shaykh Ahmad Sarhandi rahimahullah has given a very beautiful example. If you take, a wood, and then you tie some cloth to one end and put some kerosene oil and then you set it to fire. Now you have a flame, burning flame. It's one flame, but now you give this wood a circle, encircling with a speed. The observer will see a circle of fire, won't he? He will see with his eyes a circle of fire, while you know the circle doesn't exist. It's only one flame of fire, not the circle. So this universe, all the creation, appears to exist. Actually they don't exist. Only Allah has the true and real existence. This is the position. You may differ with it. It's not essential that you agree with them. But please don't confuse it with pantheism. Pantheism means this is real and this is Allah. And this Wahdatul Wujud, the unity of being, says this is not real, this is imaginary. Wahmun or khayalun or ukusun fil maraya. There is a mirror, you stand in front of it and you find that you are there also. You are not there. You are only in front of the mirror. But you are seeing that there also you are existing there. Ukusun fil maraya. These are images in the mirrors. Or zilal, they are shadows and nothing more. So this is actually the position taken by some of the Sufia, but many of the Sufia, nearly all of the Sufia. You may disagree, but this is not kufr. This is not shirk. Must differentiate between pantheism and this wahdatul wujud. Now, regarding this shirk fi sifat, the biggest shirk of our modern time is materialism. Analyze it. What is materialism? But please note, the materialism of the Newtonian era, not of the Einstein era. The Newtonian era has ended in physics, but generally 99% people today also are living in that very era intellectually. Mr. Guy Eaton, you know, is a very big intellectual, Muslim intellectual, an Englishman converted to Islam. Abdul Hakim is his Islamic name. He came over here. Some of you must have heard him. I invited him to Lahore for our Barkazi Anjuman Khuddam al-Quran annual lectures. He delivered 4 lectures. And I was astonished. He said, don't think that people in the West, they live in the Einstein era. Most of the people, you know, they are living still in the Newtonian era of physics. The masses are there. They have not understood what change has occurred in the realm of physics. So what was the basic materialism of the Newtonian era? Matter is indestructible. Properties of matter are permanent. Laws of nature are permanent. So we have all the reliance, all the faith, all the tawakkul, all the dependence on matter. We have iman on matter, not on Allah. We are satisfied if we have the material means with us. We are at a loss when the material means are not with us, because we don't think Allah can give any help directly without these material means. If you analyze your own attitude in life, we have tawakkul on matter, material means. We don't have tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We depend on matter. And you know, one of the biggest manifestation for the theologians in Islam has been of this kufr, of this shirk, that they denied the miracles. They wanted to have physical and scientific explanations of miracles. Well, fire, this is the property of the fire, that it burns. No human being can live in fire. How could it happen that Abraham was put in fire and was not burnt? No. You are mistaken. This couldn't happen. Water keeps its surface. It's the law of nature. It's permanent. It couldn't have happened that Moses just struck water, the ocean, with his staff, and the ocean split into 2. No. It was the tiding, the rising tide and the lower ebb of the tide. No. It was not the breaking into two parts of the ocean itself. This was the position taken by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in India. And this is the position taken by many of our others. They believe in the physical laws, in the laws of the nature, the laws of chemical and physical change. They believe that the properties of matter are permanent. They believe that matter is the real thing. This materialism, this is the biggest shirk of our time. And just peep into your hearts and your minds. You will find this shirk has permeated our thinking, our value structure, our attitude in life, everything has been polluted by this type of shirk. This is shirk fi sifat. Now please come to the final. Shirk fil huquq. To make someone or something partner of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his rights, in his privileges, in his authority, in his status. This is shirk fil huquq. Now what are the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There is one word in Islam, in Quran, which comprises all the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is ibadah. وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. The shirk fil ibadah. Because all the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who were sent, they exhorted people, they called people to what? أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Worship and obey Allah only, and don't make anything or anyone partner equal to him. Or the call of the messengers has been given, أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرُهُ. Worship Allah and Allah alone. Be bondsmen to Allah and Allah alone. And you have no other ilah except Allah. Or the call of the messengers has been, أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُونَ. Every messenger demanded two things: worship Allah, have ibadah of Allah, and ati'un, obey me. I am his representative. I will tell you what Allah demands of you, what he has made haram, what he has declared permissible. And then I have quoted the last ayah of Suratul Kahf. It denies, first of all, repudiates that shirk fi zat by saying, proclaim, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَٰهُكُمْ إِلَٰهٌ وَاحِدٌ فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. Whosoever hopes, please wake him up. Whosoever hopes that he will go and meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he should do good deeds, and he should not make anybody, include anybody, join anybody in the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then lastly the ayah, which I think most of you must be remembering, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created all the jinns and all the humans except that they should do ibadah, they should make ibadah to me. I am keeping the word ibadah because now I am going to explain what ibadah is actually. And now this one thing will split into 5. Just as there is a bud of a flower, it has the leaves, but you can't see them. Then it exfolds and the leaves are apparent. So this word, one word, is like a bud. This ibadah. And there are 5 leaves now. What are they? Number 1, total obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Total obedience. Abd means a slave, the bondsman. Ibadah is to behave as a slave and bondsman to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the duty of the slave or the bondsman to obey his master. You have to obey him. That's all. And this obedience has to be total. That partial obedience is no obedience at all. It will be thrown back, on the faces of the people who think they are obeying Allah, if it is partial. أفتؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعض فما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم إلا خزي في الحياة الدنيا ويوم القيامة يردون إلى أشد العذاب. I'm not going to translate it now. So total obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the essential integral part of ibadah. Rather, it is the major part of ibadah. Just like this body, and we have life in it. The size and weight is of the body. The whole size and weight of ibadah is obedience. And corresponding to the life is the muhabbah, that the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about which I will talk later. First, let us finish with this first, and that is total obedience. Now, please, take from me, and it's not from me, actually it's from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The hadith is, لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. There can be no obedience to any of the makhluk, the creatures, which implies a disobedience of Allah. The rule is, you can obey your elders, your parents, your teachers, your mentors, your rulers, but within the limits of the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you obey anyone, which implies disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which exceeds the limits set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you have made him sharik of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made him equal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is muta', the obeyed one, and there is another one who is obeyed one. All obediences should be at the lower level. The obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be the overall obedience, covering all the human life. Is it clear? Allah doesn't say don't obey. Wife should obey the husband, but not in masiyah. If the husband says something which is wrong according to Sharia, the wife should say, if she is a mu'mina, la sama wa la ta'a, I won't listen, I won't obey. You should obey your parents. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ. But if they say, they ask you to do shirk, to commit something which is haram, no obedience at all. لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. You can obey, but within those limits of the Sharia, not beyond that. Now let me give you the beginning and the end of it. The beginning of this shirk is, if you obey your own nafs, your own animal instinct, in something which is haram, you have made your own nafs equal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the worst shirk that we are doing. And Quran says, أَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you seen, have you noted the persons who have made their own lusts, their own carnal desires, their ilah? They are proclaiming La ilaha illallah, but they are obeying their nafs in haram. The desire is emerging from the depths of your id or libido for something which is haram. Allah has forbidden it. You set aside the command of Allah and Sharia, you obey your nafs. Who is your Lord now? Is it Allah or your nafs? This is the shirk. Araita mani takhadha ilahahu hawahu. Have you noted? The person who has made his own lust, his own desire, his Lord, ilah, He is saying La ilaha illallah while he has made his own nafs his ilah. Start from here, and the biggest shirk of our time is the concept of human sovereignty. The corollary, necessary corollary of Tawheed is Anil hukmu illa lillah La yushriku fi hukmihi ahada Walam yakul lahu sharikun fil mulk. There is no partner unto him. He is the ruler. Sovereignty belongs to him and him alone. सरवरी ज़ेबा फ़क़त उस ज़ात बेहमता को है, हुक्मरां है एक वही, बाकी बुताने आज़मी. Whosoever claims sovereignty for himself, he is claiming Godhead. He is claiming to be God himself. This was the claim of Fir'aun. Alaysa li mulku Misr. I am the ruler of Egypt. My commands will be enforced. The word which comes out of my mouth becomes law. I don't know who is Allah. I don't know what he has made permissible and what he has declared haram, forbidden. I don't know. What is this? This is the shirk of the highest order. The same shirk has taken the form of democracy based on the principle of popular sovereignty. What's the difference? A single person claiming sovereignty, a whole nation claiming sovereignty. The sin is the same, the shirk is the same, the kufr is the same. Because sovereignty belongs to him alone. It might be a person, it might be a nation, it might be the whole humanity. Sovereignty belongs to him. Al-Malik, he is Al-Malik, he is the ruler. Al-Malik al-Quddus al-Salam al-Mu'min al-Muhaymin al-Aziz al-Jabbar al-Mutakabbir. وَلَا يُشْرِكُ فِي حُكْمِهِ أَحَدًا is not ready to associate and to make anybody partner in this authority of ruling. So this is what Shirk fil ita'ah. Shirk fil ita'ah, starting from obeying your own nafs for something which is haram, forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it goes to the concept of the highest political concept that the humanity has achieved, of which we boast. And this is the shirk of the first order. Popular sovereignty is the kufr, is the shirk. Now come to the other leaf, other petal of the flower of ibadah. What is that? Mahabbah, love, hub. This obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be out of intense love for him. This is like the ruh. This is like the life. This whole body is of ibadah is made of ita'ah. And the ruh, the spirit of ibadah, that is muhabbah, the love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there is no love, there is no ibadah actually. You are slaves. We were slaves to the Britishers, but we were not worshipping them. But when you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of intense love. Now what is the rule here? Does it mean that you cannot love anybody? No. You can love your sons, your daughters, your parents, your country, your home. Wife should and can love the husband, and the husband should and can love the wife. All loves are permissible, but the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should remain above all the loves. If you love anybody equal to Allah or more than Allah, you are committing shirk with him. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ This is the necessary prerequisite of Iman. Ashad. Strongest love should be for Allah. You can have love for wealth, but below, at a lower level, than the love for Allah. And I gave you the ayah, the most decisive ayah in this respect. This is ayah number 24 of Surah At-Tawbah. قُلْ إِنْ كَانَ آبَاؤُكُمْ وَأَبْنَاؤُكُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ وَأَزْوَاجُكُمْ وَعَشِيرَتُكُمْ وَأَمْوَالٌ اقْتَرَفْتُمُوهَا وَتِجَارَةٌ تَخْشَوْنَ كَسَادَهَا وَمَسَاكِنُ تَرْضَوْنَهَا أَحَبَّ إِلَيْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَجِهَادٍ فِي سَبِيلِهِ فَتَرَبَّصُوا حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ اللَّهُ بِأَمْرِهِ وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. Tell them, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if the love within your hearts for your parents, for your sons and daughters, for your wives, for your brothers, for your kith and kin, your relatives, for your wealth which you have gathered, for the buildings which you very much adore and like, and for the business which you have, established, these 8 loves. You must have a balance in your heart, an imaginary balance. Visualize a balance. On one side of the balance you put these 8 loves, and on the other side, love for Allah, love for His Messenger, and love for jihad for the cause of Allah. Now see, which side is going down? If the love for all these 8 things are more than the love for these 3 things, then go away. Fatarabbasu, sit there and wait till we decide your fate. Fatarabbasu hatta yati Allahu bi amri wallahu la yahdi al-qawm al-fasiqeen. Allah is not going to lead these fasiqeen to the right path. Is it clear? Love everything. Love thyself. But love Allah more. And love of Allah and love of the Messenger, they are bracketed together. And love for jihad fi sabilillah is also the third thing bracketed there. These 5 things, all the nearest relations Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has counted here. Your fathers, your sons, your wives, your brothers, your relatives. Then all the 3 things, your property, your business, and your wealth. 8. On the one side, love for Allah, love for His Messenger, love for jihad, for His cause. On the other side, now see, which one is more? Now if this is the formula, now let me give you again the beginning and the end. What's the beginning? The love for wealth. Can you forget the halal or haram? Who is your God? Wealth. The only difference is that the Hindu is also worshipping a Devi, Lakshmi Devi. But he worships the Lakshmi Devi for the sake of wealth. You are not placing any Devi before you, you are straight off worshipping the wealth. There's no difference whatsoever. And I am not saying it. It's the saying of the Prophet. Ta'isa Abdul Dinar wa Abdul Dirham. The name is Abdul Rahman. Actually he is Abdul Dinar. Because dinar is more lovable for him than the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Name is Abdullah. He is Abdul Dirham. Name is Abdul Rahim. He is Abdul Dirham. Because he loves Dirham. The Darahim and Danarir, they are loved more than the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can put aside the commands, the distinction between halal and haram, due to the love of this wealth. Ta'isa Abdul Dinar wa Abdul Dirham. Woe to the person who is worshipping dinar, and woe to the person who is worshipping dirham. And nobody, prostrated himself before dirham or dinar. What is the worship of dirham or dinar? That is Allah's commands out of love for wealth. And what's the top of it? Love of your nation, love of your country, what you call nationalism. Whatever is beneficial for my nation, my country is correct. It might be wrong, but it is correct. Principles changing. For your own country, for your own nation, you have different set of moral rules and moral conduct. And for other countries and other nations, you have a different set of rules and conduct. What is it? It means the love of nation, or love of land, or love of country. Actually, it has exceeded the love for truth, the love for justice. And they are actually the love for Allah. This nationalism, this is the shirk of this day. This principle of popular sovereignty is the shirk of this day. Come to the third. Prayer, dua. The hadith says, ad-dua mukhul ibadah, ad-dua huwa al-ibadah. Whomsoever you are praying, invoking his help, one help is according to the physical laws. I ask you, give me a tumbler of water. It's also I'm asking for help. But asking for help from some unseen, from those who have died. If you pray to anybody, if you ask for help from anybody except Allah, in the unseen, it is the shirk of the highest order. La tad'u ma'allahi ahada. Prayers can be only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't pray anybody else. No nusrah, no application. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. The isti'ana, the istinsar, the istighasa. These are the words of Arabic. Should be from Allah and Allah only, none else. There are angels here. Every one of us has two angels with him. But we can't call them for help. Can we? No. It becomes shirk. Although we know they are here. Call Allah. He will listen to your prayer. He will help you. He can help without angels even, without any physical means. Or he may send some angel. Or he may produce some intention in some human being. Go and help my son, my bondsman. But you can pray only to Allah and none else. Because this is the essence of ibadah. Ad-du'a mukhul ibadah, essence of ibadah. Number 4, there are certain modes of worship to glorify Allah. And most important is prostration before somebody. This is exclusive for Allah. Even qunut is also not liked. If you stand somewhat bowing before somebody, it's also a sort of prayer, forbidden. I told you, the Prophet didn't like anybody to stand out of respect for him. But at least this sajda, this prostration, it is haram-e-mutlaq, with no intention. Before the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was permissible, it was allowed to bow to a certain extent when you meet somebody out of respect for him. But now, the deen, when it has been completed on Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam al-deena, any form of prostration, all forms of prostration, except for Allah, are haram mutlaq. Last of all, but not the least, the condition of ibadah to be acceptable to Allah is ikhlas, It should be exclusively for Allah. If you have joined somebody else also, this is what we call riya and sumah, doing something good to show to the people. You want that other people should listen. Well, he is a very great scholar, no doubt. Well, he is a very pious person. This riya and sumah, it is the big zero which will multiply with any amount of ibadah you have made and reduce it to zero. It is the shirk. The Prophet said, I had in the very beginning quoted the hadith, Man salla yurai faqad ashraka, wa man sama yurai faqad ashraka, wa man tasaddaqa yurai faqad ashraka. Whosoever is praying, to show to the people. Whosoever is fasting, to show to the people. Whosoever is doing charity, giving alms to the poor, the needy, making sadaqah, but to show off his generosity, well, he has committed shirk. And this shirk can be as imperceptible. The example has been given, the simile given by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that to see this shirk-e-khafi, which is in riya, to recognize it is as difficult as seeing a black ant moving on a black stone on a dark night. The night is dark, the stone is black, and a black ant is moving on it. Can you see it? Just as it is difficult to see that ant, you can't see shirk-e-khafi. This is here. I quoted the couplet from Allama Iqbal. बराहीमी नजर पैदा मगर मुश्किल से होती है, हविस छुप छुप के सीनों में बना लेती है तस्वीरें. There are mandirs here, there are temples here, there are idols here, worshipping wealth, worshipping glory, worshipping power, worshipping reputation, worshipping money, worshipping your own baser, the animal desires, the carnal desires. This is the shirk. Beware of it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the full understanding, the comprehensive understanding of what shirk is. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the courage to give up all forms of shirk. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. Thank you very much.